Welcome back, Love Nation. This is Nina. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to everybody that has been coming to my channel. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm about to play part two of the Cassie versus Diddy civil lawsuit complaint. This is part two. I will be coming back with the part three either later today or tomorrow. Trigger warning on this video. There's a lot of sad information in here. So I'm about to play this trigger warning, you guys. Thank you. 2007, Diddy flexed his power and influence when he paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party hosted by Cassie. This fake posting allowed Cassie to have an excuse to go to Miami, Florida, and get away from her boyfriend by using the guise of a legitimate event she had to attend. Cassie was stunned at how easily Diddy was able to recruit others to lie for him. Cassie was uncomfortable with the fake flyer, but because the request to go to Miami was made by the power of her owner of her record label, and because she was scared to go against his wishes and face repercussions to her ascending career, Cassie agreed to join Diddy in Florida. During this trip to Miami, Diddy provided Cassie with copious amounts of pharmaceuticals. She became more intoxicated than ever before, and her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. As she wanted Diddy to continue to support her career, she felt she could not refuse Diddy, urging her to take more pharmaceuticals. After, after providing her with the pharmaceuticals, Diddy had relations with Cassie during this trip. Within 2 years of meeting Diddy, Cassie found herself lured into the immediate circle of her boss, the owner of her record label, and one of the most powerful men in entertainment industry. Part 3, Mr. Combs exerts control over Cassie's career and personal life. From the very start of their relationship, Mr. Combs exerted his power influence over Cassie. This dynamic was fueled by their nearly 20-year age difference, as well as their relative positions in the entertainment industry. Diddy was considered a music mogul, and Cassie at the very start of her career as an entertainer. Diddy was aggressive and demanded approach to those he worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him. And Cassie soon learned that Diddy insisted on blind loyalty from everyone in his inner circle. Although Cassie had saved up some earnings from her young modeling career, Diddy's ostentatious display of wealth was intimidating to her. Diddy paid for things with wads of cash and would repeatedly tell Cassie, "Don't worry about the money. I have money." Diddy's expensive, lavish vacations for him. I'm sorry. Diddy paid for lavish vacations for him and Cassie, purchased a car for her, paid for her apartment, and provided her with extensive amounts of designer clothing. Around 2008 or 2009, Diddy began to rent an apartment in Manhattan for Cassie. The apartment was within walking distance of Diddy's New York residence. He first showed Cassie the apartment by bringing her there along with her parents. Cassie's parents were skeptical of the mogul's display of wealth, but proud of their daughter's newfound success. Around 2010, Diddy similarly paid for an apartment for Cassie in LA, which was located about 5 minutes away from Diddy's residence. He paid for many of her apartments in California and also purchased a Jaguar for her around 2013 or 2014. All aspects of Cassie's life were controlled by either Diddy or his management companies. Every event Cassie attended, from the travel to the makeup and clothing, was paid for directly by Diddy and his affiliated companies. Compounding this all-encompassing intrusion into her life, Diddy secured his control over the young and impressionable Cassie by introducing her to pharmaceutical fueled lifestyle that kept her complacent and compliant. Diddy first introduced Cassie to opiates around 2008 and would often have pharmaceuticals and other drugs out in open like candy. Upon information and belief, Diddy has been addicted to pharmaceuticals and took X frequently. At first, Cassie was given the pharmaceuticals that Diddy received from a doctor in Miami, Florida. Eventually, when Diddy exhausted his supply of pharmaceuticals, he demanded that Cassie procure prescriptions from this Miami doctor in her own name. Diddy also became deeply involved in Cassie's personal life, with his personal staff, attending Cassie's day to day travel and other needs, including medical care. On multiple times, Diddy had Cassie's personal medical records sent directly to his email address. For instance, when Cassie began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive pharmaceutical use and or head injuries caused by Combs pawpawing her, as described below, her MRI results were provided directly to Diddy. Diddy also repeatedly arranged for his staff to drive Cassie to certain doctor's appointments. In this way, Diddy exerted ownership over Cassie. As another example of ways in which he manipulated Cassie and ensured obedience early on in their relationship, he asked Cassie what she called her grandfather. When Cassie said she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop, Cassie perversely insisted that Ventura refer to him with that nickname. Chapter 4. Diddy and Cassie's relationship becomes volatile. What started as a whirlwind of celebrity meetings and pharmaceutical and alcohol fueled parties, however, quickly turned frightening and volatile. Cassie was also exposed to an intense amount of pawpawing, pervaded with her rise to fame. For example, on one occasion, when Diddy and Cassie were using pharmaceuticals together in his home, one of his security staff barged in and announced that Suge Knight, a longtime rival of Diddy, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in LA. Diddy began to get dressed, retrieved multiple pow-pows from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. Cassie became terrified and began to cry. On at least two occasions, Diddy demanded that Cassie hold Diddy's pow-pows in her purse. Cassie had no familiarity with pow-pows and was petrified that they would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Diddy required her to hold onto this, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he had a volatile, powerful, and dangerous persona. Over the next decade, multiple times each year, Diddy would pawpaw her, leaving bruises all over her body. After every instance in which he pawpawed Cassie, Diddy used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide the evidence of what he was doing, including hiding Cassie in hotels for days at a time to let her bruises heal. In one instance, after a party with Jay-Z, Diddy pawed Cassie repeatedly in an escalade, including by kicking her and hitting. He forced her out of the vehicle on Fifth Avenue in New York City. She was eventually able to hail a cab and get to her apartment in Manhattan, where she cried in fear, realizing there was no one she could tell about what happened at the hands of this incredibly powerful man. She spent the subsequent 3 days hiding in her apartment. In January of 2009, after Diddy learned that Cassie spoke to another music manager at a party in Los Angeles, he became enraged. She hoped speaking to this manager would allow her to further grow her career and that Diddy would be happy for her. But instead, he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. In the car, leaving the club, Diddy pawpawed Cassie, pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and harming her face. Diddy security staff Roger Bonds tried to stop the incident but was unable to de escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Diddy's residence, Cassie attempted to run away, but Diddy followed her and proceeded to again hurt her face. Cassie was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Diddy's home where she began to throw up from the violent assault. Upon realizing the damage he had done and the physical evidence of his abuse, Diddy panicked and forced his staff to bring Cassie to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in LA, where she was required to stay for a week. During this stay, as her injuries began to heal from the incident, Cassie began to fully realize that Diddy's tremendously loyal network not only knew about it and witnessed the incident, but also that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop Diddy's behavior. She recognized that she was powerless and that reporting Diddy to the authorities would not alter Diddy's status or influence, but merely give Diddy another excuse to put her through another incident. While in the hotel, she asked to go to her parents, but Diddy wouldn't let her leave. She lied to her mother when asked about an online gossip forum that reported the incident. Diddy proceeded to instruct his assistant to purchase excessive amounts of gifts for Ventura, who was Cassie, which were delivered to the hotel where she remained trapped. Cassie was terrified, isolated, and unable to see a pathway out of Diddy's hold on her life. She found herself becoming numb to what she was experiencing and became entirely beholden to Diddy's demands. She began to blindly follow his instruction out of fear of again being on the receiving end of another pawpaw incident. I am going to stop right here. This will be the end of part 2. This situation is very troublesome to me. I did not know she went through so much with him. And I'm just going to stop here, you guys. I'm going to post part 3 either later today or it'll upload in the morning. So please like, share, subscribe. Till next time, be safe, guys. Enjoy your day. Bye, guys.